What's up, guys? Welcome back to Scarlet and Great. Thank you so much for joining us here. We have a great recap for the big game up in Minnesota. The Buckeyes took on and took down the Golden Gophers. We're going to go over 5 key takeaways from that event, so stay tuned. This is going to be an excellent show. A few moments of housekeeping before we get started. First and foremost, please remember my friend and co-host, Florida Corey, right now. His father's dealing with a very bad illness, case of coronavirus. He's in the hospital with not a great outlook. Please direct your thoughts and prayers to Corey and his family right now. One of the great things about this podcast is the camaraderie and the friendships we've made with not only each other, but you guys, the fans. And I just ask that you please remember Florida Corey at this time. Our hearts are with you right now, my friend. Moving on somberly from that, we do have a big event coming up this Saturday. Tailgate with Braxton Miller, Zach Smith of Menace 2 Sports. Braxton Miller's Charging Brand right in Columbus, close to the stadium. The Point on Lane. I will put the link in the description below where you can get your tickets. An all-you-can-eat event, a game watch location where you can watch the game on TVs, hang out with Braxton Miller, watch us do a pregame show like our own little Big Noon Kickoff, and it's fun for the whole family. What a great time to get rowdy and watch the Buckeye game. It will be a ton of fun. Please get your tickets in the description below, and I will see you there. Come up and say hi. We love meeting you guys. Be myself and Zach, maybe some others on the mic doing a pregame show, maybe even halftime show, emceeing, that kind of thing, and hang out with everybody's favorite Buckeye, Braxton Miller. All right, guys. Excuse me if just a second. If you'll see, I'm also going to be kind of doing the production of this show, but I want to know some of your thoughts. Like this video if you think the things will be okay with the Buckeyes, that there are things to improve on, but ultimately that we will be okay. Comment below if you are very concerned. If you are ultra concerned and you think this, I don't know if this is going to work, comment below and tell me why. I'd love to hear from you. This is your chance to sound off. I want to go through 5 key takeaways about this game, though. First and foremost, a lot of first game jitters for CJ Stroud. That is, I will call it like I see it. That first half of quarterback play was the worst Ohio State quarterback performance I had seen since 2017, JT Barrett versus the Iowa Hawkeyes in the meltdown. It was bad. It was I will say I was in a suite watching the game. A podcast listener treated me to that ticket. Thank you so much, Brock, Becky, and family. If any of you guys would like to spoil me as well and give me nice, lavish things, feel free. I will always say yes. Thank you so much. But you could see you have a better view from up there for some things like the routes, the secondary and the route running. You could see guys running open, not seeing them, not hitting them, just missing the throws. It was really bad quarterback play. And we know, though, that CJ Stroud is not an awful quarterback. How do we know? Because he's in a room full of killers, a room full of highly talented guys. And he was the cream of the crop. He was the guy that Ryan Day and Corey Dennis picked to be the starter. So he's better than that. He had some jitters. Then in the second half, well, it was a lot better, right? There's still some things to be, I guess, corrected and things. I'm not 100% sold on him moving forward. However, I do think that he will probably go down as top 6 or 7 Buckeye quarterback of all time. He will be just fine. I really believe that. I just need to see it because I think the first half was something like 60 yards and an interception. Really bad play. The second half, it was 236 yards, 5 completions, and 4 touchdowns. So the stat line looks great, but you would like to see him be able to manufacture drives and things like that going forward. So we will see if he is able to do that. I haven't seen it yet, so I do need to see it. But I believe that he will improve very much going forward. So the first game jitters really shaped that game in the first half. The second point I would like to make, and this feeds into that second half stat line, This is why I'm not saying, oh, look at CJ Stroud's second half. He's just fixed. All the issues are fixed. Yes, like I said, I think he's going to go on to be a great quarterback, but I don't know that just yet. The second half stat line I attribute to this right here. Ryan Day is the GOAT. From what he schemed up, guys, the plays that he called, he sees what defenses do. He comes out and he just butchers you. Getting Garrett Wilson one-on-one with a safety in the slot, forget about it. Safety had like a 10-yard cushion, doesn't matter. I could see that route from my view. As soon as he turned the safety and broke, I was like, hit him. Beautiful. And it was a good throw by Stroud. But Ryan Day schemed CJ Stroud into a great stat line. Combined with Ryan Day's scheming, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave's freakish talent, and the help of the freakish talent of TreVeyon Henderson and taking a little dump off screen pass. What's it read? It reads 70-yard touchdown. It was a nice little dump off screen pass. TreVeyon did the rest. But that type of scheming by Ryan Day really helped his struggling quarterback out. And that's what he can do with all this talent. Take a guy who's struggling and say, hey, I just need you to complete 5 passes this next half. It'll go over 4 touchdowns and 230 yards. Can you do that for me? And he did, and it was beautiful. So the yards after catch, and the scheming open, the yards after catch on those 236 yards, I would imagine is something like 180. It was wonderful. It was beautiful to see. So Ryan Day is the absolute GOAT. Next, tale of two halves. Do not overanalyze what we need to do more, what we need to do less on offense. I see some people saying like we need to hit the tight end more. Think about this, guys. It was one game, 1-1-1. You can only do so much within the game as it unfolds because of situations in the game. Yes, maybe we could hit the tight ends a little more in the first half when Stroud was struggling and not hitting open guys. However, you only get, if he doesn't do it in the first 3 downs, you got to punt and move on. And then you also have to mix in touches for these running backs. What are you going to do? Not throw it to Wilson and Olave and Smith and Jigba? Like, you're going to not throw it to those guys? So there's only so many footballs to go around. Then in the second half, think about this. If that's the time to use the tight ends, first, let's go back to the first half. Miyan Williams ends the drive early by taking it 70, 80 yards to the house. You can't use the tight end. He drives over, touchdown. So there's little things like that. Then you go to the second half. What do you want Ryan Day to do? Not scheme up 70-yard touchdown bombs? Not scheme up 60-yard touchdown bombs? Not give the ball to Garrett Wilson in the slot when he's one-on-one with the safety cooking somebody? Not use those weapons? Garrett, come on back. Walk that touchdown back. I'd rather hit you a 12-yard out to Jeremy Rucker. A little curl pass to Cade Stover, 12 yards. Yeah, we got to use the tight end more. People on the internet said so, right? Yes, maybe we can sprinkle it in going forward, and that would be great when football's about matchups, right? When the matchups allow, yes, you can go for it. I take Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jackson Smith, and Jigba over over our tight ends right now for playmaking ability. I just do. If there's a favorable matchup, Stroud struggling, you want to hit him, get a nice safety blanket throw, sure, go right ahead. But let's not overanalyze because of the tale of two halves. The drives were so short in the second half because of huge plays or the defense just getting the ball, scoring like the scoop and score, and then right back on the field. You just can't sit there. We didn't have these 12-play drives. In a 12-play drive, yes, I would like to see the tight end used. We just didn't have that. So let's not overanalyze some of these things. Okay, next point. It is going to be number 4. It's hard to make defensive observations, right? It's hard to make defensive observations in this game because, one, I will say with the melee of offensive linemen and the 7 big bodies, Minnesota looks to have a good offensive line. It was hard for me to make observations with just the pile of bodies at the beginning. I will say this. I will say that It looked like Hickman was a really nice player. They call him a bullet. He was down playing like a linebacker. Looked pretty good. Mitchell and Simon looked pretty good. Eichenberg looked young at times. Gant looked to seem to struggle at times. Perhaps we should just wait. This is one thing I could possibly observe. And remember, we had two starting DBs out, your top two corners out. That's huge. That's just flat worth 10 points most times, I would think. But maybe we should wait a little bit. If I had to have one criticism before we rotate so much, we should wait until the game's more in hand. Now, in the second half, I can understand rotating because the time of possession was so short. We were scoring right away and putting the defense right back out there. So you need to give guys a break. My theory on the linebacker rotation is that since you went to two guys and a bullet, and it's a young guy, Hickman, getting thrown right in there, and sometimes Simon, but it was or not Simon, excuse me, Craig Young's, mostly Hickman, who played great. I think maybe some players were told, or just the human element, hey, since there's only two you linebackers, I'm going to rotate you other guys more so everybody can be happy. I get why you would do that, but we're here to win football games. It's not a campfire session, so we're here to win football games. So I think maybe we should temper the rotation a little bit. And I apologize, I have to do this production myself right now. But the fifth point, and I think this is something that Buckeye Nation will be excited about, is on Saturday against Oregon. I believe that the D-line will flash going forward. I really do believe that the D-line will flash because we will see a more traditional front. It's hard. I think it's hard for the D-line to just break out and break wide open against all those bodies up front. You got like 4-on-6, 4-on-7, right? And then you see linebackers coming in and filling holes to match the numbers. When it's a more traditional front against Oregon, I think you will see that big D-line eat more, right? Especially with Sewell going off to the NFL, they'll have to replace him. You'll see that. And as I stated before, hopefully our two starting DBs are back and you can see a little more consistency because those young DBs were getting picked on as they should. Good job, PJ Fleck. You should absolutely go after the young guys that were out there. Hopefully, maybe somebody will turn their head and we will see if that is still being taught at Ohio State or not. And you will see hopefully a little bit better defensive back play. So remember, first time game jitters for Stroud. Ryan Day is the GOAT. It's a tale of two halves. Don't overanalyze. It was hard to make a lot of defensive observation because of the rotation and the melee up front. But because that melee should subside next week with a more normal front, that D-line should eat and the defensive back should flash as well. Thank you so much for joining us here. We'll see you next time. We got some more shows coming up this week to talk about the Buckeye season moving forward. Thank you so much for being with us here today. As always, guys, goodbye, God bless, and go Bucks.